In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to solve the original 3x3x3 Rubik's Cube, this thing right here. Now before we get started, question of the day: why do we call it the Rubik's Cube? If you know the answer to this question, please let me know in the YouTube comment section below this video. If you don't know the answer to the question of the day, please stick around to the end of this video and I'll tell you why we call this the Rubik's Cube. Now there are three types of pieces in Rubik's Cube. There's 6 centers. This is a center right there. 1, 2. There's one on top. There's one at the bottom. One to the right. And then, it's kind of around here. So there's 6 of them. And they are squares. Another thing to note about them is that apart from being squares, they have only one color, a single color. For instance, this one is red, this one is blue, and they're unique. So if you see a red center and a blue center, there is no other red or blue center. This one is white, this is yellow, this is orange, and this is green. The other kind of piece is the edge piece. The edge piece is like this one. There's 12 of them because there's 3 layers. This is the top layer, that's the bottom layer, this is the center layer, and each layer has 4 of them. Now they each have 2 colors. For instance, this edge piece has red and white. So when you hear me talk about edge piece, this is what I'm talking about. This edge piece is red and blue. Now one thing to note, these 2 colors, when you solve it, they have to match the center because the center determines the color again, like I said. So for instance, this one here, when you solve it, it has to look like that. You see, this side is blue, matches this blue center. This is red, matches the red center. So that's what you're going to remember about that. And then the third kind of piece is the corner pieces. Now there's 8 of them because the middle layer doesn't have any. It's only the top layer and the bottom layer that have corners. There's 4 on each side, and so there's 8 of them. Each of them has 3 colors. Now we talked about the center, which has 1 color. This edge piece has 2 colors. Corners have 3 colors. And when you finally solve this corner, see this blue matches right there. This right here, eventually when it is solved, this has to match that, and then this has to match that. As you can see right here, when you solve it, a corner, make sure this orange matches that blue matches that center, and this white matches that. Now since Rubik's cubes have 6 sides, there's 6 colors. If white is on top and red is facing you, to the right is always blue, and opposite blue is always green, opposite red is always orange, opposite white is always yellow. Now let's do the turns. You notice on this cube there's several sides. There's the right side right here, there's the left side right here, there's the top side right here, there's the back side, there's the bottom side over here, and there's the front side. When you hear me say right clockwise, I mean turn 90 degrees that way. So right clockwise twice means that way, 180 degree turn. Back clockwise means that. Back counterclockwise is that. Right counterclockwise is that. Top clockwise is that. Top clockwise twice. Top counterclockwise. Okay, front counterclockwise. Front clockwise. Front clockwise twice. Left clockwise. Left counterclockwise. Left counterclockwise twice. Bottom clockwise. Bottom counterclockwise twice. And so you'll hear me talk about that a lot, so just remember that. So we'll only be doing either 90 degree turns. When I say clockwise, I mean 90 degrees, or clockwise twice, I mean 90 degrees twice, which is 180 degrees. And then we come to the algorithms. Why do we use algorithms? Because when we start solving this, we'll first solve the white top, so everything is on top, and then we'll turn it upside down, orient it with the yellow on top, and from then on we'll use algorithm. And the reason why we're going to use algorithms is because we don't want to mess up whatever we already created. If you orient the cube a certain way and apply an algorithm, it'll change one and only one thing and leave everything else intact, and that's why we use them. Now there's several kinds of algorithms. We're going to be using the left and the right algorithm. It's just the same algorithm, but it has alternatives. So if I perform this algorithm, it'll swap this edge piece to my right with this edge piece, and that's why I call it the right side algorithm. Like that. So that swaps that. It leaves everything intact. If I did it with the left algorithm, it would have swapped this piece with this one. So that's kind of like the right side and the left side. Another type is clockwise and counterclockwise. It's just basically the same algorithm, but when we get to the end, when we're solving the last edge pieces, we're going to use clockwise. If we want to move this edge piece over here and this one over here, we're going to use the clockwise algorithm. If we're going to move this to this one, that's counterclockwise. We're going to use the same, but the alternative counterclockwise move. And then there's algorithms that you apply one time and it'll solve the thing. You saw that when I did that. I did it one time and it solved that. Another algorithm for solving the bottom yellow, you'll see that we will be looking at the situation, and if it's just like one thing, we'll hold it a certain way, we'll apply the algorithm. If it changes and we still don't have everything yellow, we'll hold it another way, depending on the situation, and apply the same algorithm over and over and over until everything is yellow. So there's those that you have to apply more than one time. There's those that you apply just one time and it solves it. Now, about algorithm. Remember we said orientation. So I'm going to say this orientation is white on top. This orientation is, if I flip it upside down, orientation is now yellow on top. When you're applying an algorithm, remember to hold it a certain way. When I start applying this algorithm, you notice white is on top, red is facing me. I'm going to apply this to bring this over here. Watch what happens. Well, at the end of it, white is still on top and red is still facing me. If you don't do that, if you start applying the algorithm and you end up with something like this where now red is over here, you're going to get messed up and you won't be able to solve it. Recognize the pattern first so that you can apply the correct algorithm. You don't want to apply the wrong algorithm to a situation because it will mess it up more. So you want to first recognize the situation and then apply the correct algorithm and then recognize the desired outcome. Our goal is to solve this Rubik's Cube. And what do I mean by that? At the end of it, remember we said the center squares determine the colors. I want everything over here to be white, everything over here to be orange, and so on and so forth. Now I'm going to break this into several subsections. And why am I going to do this? There's good news and bad news about solving the Rubik's Cube. The good news is that it's extremely easy to solve. It's just so easy to solve. The bad news is that there's about 43 trillion combinations for these squares and these cubes. And so it is a daunting task to learn how to do it. But once you learn it, it's a piece of cake, I promise you. Don't be scared. Stick around to the end of this tutorial and you'll be able to solve this Rubik's Cube. I'm going to break it into 9 subtasks. The first one, I'm going to try to make this a white cross so that this is white. I'm gonna make these 4 edge pieces white, and then I'm gonna make these corners white, and everything will be white over here. And then I'll match them to centers, and then I'll flip it upside down. I'll solve these 4 edge pieces, and then next I'm gonna create a yellow cross over here, and then after that I'm gonna make everything over here yellow. Once I do that, I'm gonna make all the corners oriented correctly. After that, I'm gonna solve the bottom yellow edge pieces and it'll be solved. Now I'm going to be using 2 cubes because sometimes you encounter a situation one time and then when you start doing the same thing that I'm telling you to do right now, you get another situation and you try to do it and it doesn't work and you get frustrated. And you never know when that situation is going to come. So when you're solving this, you don't know what situation is going to be there. So if I use 2, at least I'll be able to, I hope, catch all types of situations so that you can know how to solve it. Alright, let's get started. So step number 1, like I said, orient the cube. The orientation is going to be white on top, but we want a white cross. So what am I going to do? Watch, I'm going to flip it 180 degrees and now what is on top? Yellow. First, I'm going to create a white cross around here. Ignore this yellow. I'm going to make this edge piece, that bit white. And the first step, remember, we don't have to use algorithms now because we only use algorithms when we don't want to mess up something. And we haven't solved anything, so there's nothing to mess up. So we're going to use just intuition. So I'm going to find white edge pieces and put them over here. Here's one, okay? How do I put it? I want the white on top, so I'm going to watch. It's to my right. I'm going to just do right. And you can do this any way you want. And then I'm going to flip it that way. And now you see it's right there, okay? I want them surrounding this yellow center. Here's another one. I'm going to do that. Now this and this, I'll remember not to mess that up. Now I just need to work with these 2 edges. So here's another one. I'm going to just flip it upside down. You see where it is right now? There it is. And then there's another one here. I'll just bring it over here because I know that I need to bring it here. I'll bring it under here and flip right 180 degrees. So now we have the crossover here. Now to bring it to the white side, what you need to do using these 2 bottom layers, watch what I'm going to do. I know, like I told you, that piece when it comes over here to the bottom, which is white now, it has to be white and green. So I know that this center piece needs to be green. So this is green. I'm going to use this bottom 2 to turn this to green. And when I turn it now on my face, I'm going to turn it 180 degrees to the bottom. Same thing over here. Use these 2 to make this red, the center red, because center determines the color. Then flip the front clockwise twice to the bottom like that. Same thing, using these 2, make that blue. I know that this belongs to the blue side and the center determines the color. And then I'll flip the front clockwise that way. One final one, use these 2, align that correctly with the orange and flip this. And now watch. Now orientation is yellow at the top I'm gonna flip it upside down, and now white is on top, and watch. We have that white cross that I was trying to achieve, and that's how to get the white cross. And why did I do that? Not only do I have the white cross, but see, this is matching. That's white, white. This is green, green. This is white, white. Red, red. This is white, white, blue, blue. This is white, white, orange, orange. You need to have that in order to have that. If you have the white cross and something is like that, it's never gonna work. You need to make sure of that. Let's do the same thing for this one. I'm gonna orient it this way and then flip it over to the yellow side, and then I'm gonna put that piece right there. I know it's there. Find another. Here's another piece. I can put it right there. Okay. Remember, this is intuition. Play around with it so that you know how to do it. Okay. Here's another one. I'm gonna flip it just that way. Now I know I can't mess up with that. I can only mess up with this, right? So what do I do with this? I'll find the last one, and I'll put it right here because it doesn't have a white piece. So just find it. Here it is. And using this, like I say, I'll flip it that way, and that's done. I'm gonna look around. Now this is orange, right? I know at the end it needs to be white and orange, so I'm gonna turn using these bottom two because I don't care. I'm solving the top, remember, so I don't care about these two. So I'm gonna turn these until this is orange because I know the center determines the color, and I'll flip the front upside down. Again, I'll bring another piece to the front. This is green. Turn these two until green matches. Flip the front upside down. Same thing. Turn these two until this is red. Flip it over. One last one. Turn these two until this is blue. Flip it over. And now I'll orient the cube upside down so the white is on top. This is white and white, green and green. This is red and red, white, white. This is white and white, blue, blue. This is white, white, orange, orange. So step one is achieved. Let's go to step number two. Step number two, we're gonna make everything here white. And how do we do that? Since we already have the center and the edge pieces on the top white, all we have to do is to make these four corners white. And now I'm gonna start kind of using algorithm so that I can show you how to do. Now to solve this, I know that this is the important layer. I'm gonna use the bottom layer to solve that. So what I'm gonna do is, I know that the corner pieces, which I need over here, have three colors. I will make sure that on the bottom layer right here, this is the top layer, that's the middle layer. On the bottom layer, I'll make sure that I have a white, and here is one of them. So when I see that this is white and another color, this is orange, so I know that it doesn't belong here because the center determines the color. I'll turn it, the bottom layer, which I'm playing with, to the orange side like that. And now I'll look at this piece. Put it on your face, either to the front right or front left. In this case, on my front right. And what do I mean? The white side, there's two colors here. The other color, which is orange, is facing me, and the white is to the right. I'll apply this algorithm and watch. It'll replace this corner with this. And the algorithm is, if the white is on your right, you do bottom clockwise, front clockwise, bottom counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. And now look, that piece came over there, and it's correct because it's got orange here and green there. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. Find a white. Okay, here's another on the bottom layer. There's another one. Match it with the red right here, and then white is on my right. Use the algorithm again to replace this with this. Bottom clockwise, front clockwise, bottom counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. Done. Find another white. Here it is. It's matching. So I'll match it with the red. This time around though, the white is on my left. What do? Use the same algorithm but an alternate of it to place this corner piece on top right here. So, and the algorithm is different. The left side is this one. Bottom counterclockwise, front counterclockwise, bottom clockwise, front clockwise. And now you see that piece came from there to there. Let's find another one. Now, if you don't find anything here and you still have a corner that's missing, look around. Oh, it's over here. If this piece is over here, to put it over in the bottom layer correctly so that now you can orient it, because right now it's in the right place but it's wrongly oriented. I'm gonna take it to the bottom layer and use the same algorithm, either right or left. So, but if it's, you put it on your face, either here or here. If it's on the left and it is facing you, to put it on this layer correctly, use this. It's on your face to the top left, do front counterclockwise, bottom counterclockwise, front clockwise. And now look. So it came out of there, it's over here now. Now we can take it to the blue side, and to place it here correctly, I know the right is on my side. I use the right side algorithm, bottom clockwise, front clockwise, bottom counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. And now look, the top is completely solved. See that? Let's do the same thing for this one. So corners, I'm gonna use the bottom layer. Remember, find a white piece. There it is. Match it with the correct, that's orange. It needs to go over here, and it's on my left. So left algorithm, bottom counterclockwise, front counterclockwise, bottom clockwise, front clockwise. There it is. Came from here to there. Find another piece over here in the bottom. There's no piece in the bottom. So what do? In this case, we have a weird situation where we have a white over here, but it's on the bottom. I need for it on this layer. So the top layer, but middle layer, I need for it to be over here. So what I do is I'm gonna find a corner that I haven't fixed. I can't use this corner because I don't want to mess it up. I already fixed that one. I don't care about this corner because I haven't, it doesn't have the correct. So I'm gonna put that directly over the corner that I don't care about, right there. And now to put the white from the bottom to this layer, to the third layer, all I have to do is use this algorithm. First of all, the piece that has the white, put it on the face, right? And if it's on the bottom right, if it's over here, you use a different algorithm. If it's over here on the right, you use this algorithm to put it on this layer. I'm gonna do right counterclockwise, bottom clockwise, and then I'm gonna do right clockwise. And now you'll find it right here. Now I'm gonna match it to this, matches that orange. It's on my right. To put it up here, right side algorithm, bottom clockwise, front clockwise, bottom counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. Now find another piece over here. There's no other piece over here. Now there's a piece over here. Okay, there's a piece over here. So put it on the face. Now it's on the right. If this corner is misplaced and you want to put that on this layer so you can solve it, to bring it over here, if the white is on the right over here, to bring it here to this layer correctly, you do this. Okay, it's on my right. It's facing the right. I'll do right counterclockwise. I'll do bottom counterclockwise, right clockwise, and now you see it's over here, right, without messing anything else. So now this is all red. I'm gonna turn it to the red side like that. To put it up here, right side, the white on the right, bottom clockwise, front clockwise, bottom counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. Voila. Now let's see, is there a white over here? No, there's no more white. Where is the other white? It's over here. So again, this corner is resolved. This corner, I'll put it on a corner that is not resolved, like this one right there. Don't put it here because this is already resolved. It'll mess it up, but you don't care about messing this corner because it's not solved. So I'll put it directly on the bottom of a corner that is not solved yet. And now if it's at the bottom right here, to put it on this layer, all I'll do is again right counterclockwise, bottom clockwise, right clockwise. And now you'll find it right here. I'll match it with the green. To go up here, it's on my right. I'll do bottom clockwise, front clockwise, bottom counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. And now we have achieved the goal number 2. All right, let's go to 3. Now that you solve the top, you don't want to mess it up. So now we're going to use the algorithm. But before we do that, we're going to flip it over. Right now we are orienting it with a white. We'll flip it upside down. And then our next target is to solve the center. And the way to solve the center, we already know that these centers of the middle layer are in the correct place. So we're only solving actually the edge pieces. And how do we do that? We know that we haven't started solving this layer because it's a yellow layer. We only solved this one, so we don't care much about this. So I'm actually going to use the edge pieces from the top here to fix the middle. And how do I do that? First of all, I know that if any of these edge pieces has a yellow, I know it belongs to the yellow. Why? Because remember, the center determines the color, so that belongs over here. So I'm gonna leave that one because it doesn't belong over here. If I find one that doesn't have that, this one has a yellow, ignore that. If this one does not, what does this mean? That it doesn't belong to the top, because the center determines the color and this is yellow. If this doesn't have a yellow, it doesn't belong here. It belongs to the middle layer, because we have already solved this layer, and if it doesn't belong to this layer, it doesn't belong to this layer, it must belong to the middle layer, right? So when you look at it, it's green and red. Remember we said the center determines the color. We will take it to the color, so this belongs to the green side, and then now it's going to replace this edge piece to the right or to the left. So we're going to have one algorithm that has an alternative right algorithm for replacing this piece with that, and a left algorithm for replacing this piece with that. So we look at it now. This piece is green and red. Where is it going to go? Here? No. It's going to go here. Why is it going to replace this one and not this one? Because this piece right here, remember the edge piece, you look at the center colors, and that's how you determine this edge piece needs to be red and green, and this edge piece is red and green. So from here it's going to go to my left. So I'm going to apply the left algorithm, and here we go. Left algorithm: up counterclockwise, left counterclockwise, up clockwise, left clockwise, up clockwise, front clockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise, and there it is. So you look, everything else remained the same. All we did was there was a piece over here and we flipped it over here. So using an algorithm, that's the beauty of algorithms. Let's find another edge piece to put over here. This has a yellow, so it belongs to the top. We ignore it. This has a yellow, belongs to the top. This has a yellow, that has a yellow. And we haven't resolved it, so what do? It means that some of the edge pieces in the middle are in the wrong place. If you have an edge piece like this one that is misplaced, let's just apply an algorithm one time. It's a wasted move, but we're going to apply the right side algorithm that's going to replace this piece with that. And we know that now this piece is going to come here, and then we can use this to solve it. So sometimes that's what you have to do. If all these edge pieces are yellow, that's what you do. So you find a misplaced edge piece in the middle. You don't want to use this because this is incorrect. This is wrong. So you can use either the right algorithm or the left. And because I've already used the left, let me show you how to use the right. The right algorithm is just going to take this out of there. Up clockwise, right clockwise, up counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise, up clockwise, front clockwise. So it came out of here. Now where is it? Here it is. It's blue and orange. So I'm going to turn it to the blue side. Remember, the center determines that. It's either going to go here or here. And where is it going to go? To the left. Why? Because this edge piece needs to be blue and orange, and this is blue and orange. So left side algorithm, up clockwise, left counterclockwise, up clockwise, left clockwise, up clockwise, front clockwise, up clockwise, front counterclockwise. And so now that's been placed correctly. Now let's look for another edge piece. This is as yellow. We ignore it. Belongs to the top, belongs to the top. This is the correct one. It doesn't have a yellow, so it belongs to the middle layer. So where is it going to go? Left or right? Okay, it's green and orange. Green and orange. This needs to be green and orange, so it's going to go to the right. Right side algorithm, up clockwise, right clockwise, up counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise, up clockwise, front clockwise. So that's been replaced right there. All right, and now we look for another edge piece. This is yellow and red. Yellow, it's got a yellow, we ignore it. So everything in the middle looks like it's solved except for this one. So this one is in the correct position, but it's wrongly oriented. So let's take it out with a move. So it's a wasted move again. I'm gonna form a left side algorithm to take it out, okay? And it's just gonna put this over here, and then that's gonna be free to be inserted correctly. So here we go. Up counterclockwise, left counterclockwise, up clockwise, left clockwise, up clockwise, front clockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise, and come out. So let's find it. It's over here. Let's put it in correctly to the left again. So it's red and blue. It belongs right here. But before it was flipped the wrong way, let's flip it now the correct way. Left side algorithm, since it's going to the left. Up counterclockwise, left counterclockwise, up clockwise, left clockwise, up clockwise, front clockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. And there it is. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we solved this second layer. Let's do the same thing for this one. We oriented upside down. Since this is solved, we're going to solve it with the yellow on top. We have to solve these 4 edge pieces. We find an edge piece here that does not have a yellow. This has a yellow. It belongs to the top. We ignore. This doesn't have a yellow. It's blue. So we'll turn it to the blue side. It's going to go to the right because this edge piece needs to be blue and red. Blue and red. Right side algorithm, up clockwise, right clockwise, up counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise, up clockwise, front clockwise. And there it is. Good. Find another one. This one has a yellow. Ignore, 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 ignore. And now either we are solved or this one is wrongly placed. Okay, see, it's got the correct place but wrongly oriented. This needs to be, remember, the center determines the color. This needs to be orange, this needs to be green. We'll just take it out with I don't know, maybe right side algorithm. If I do the left side algorithm this way, this piece will replace that. If I do the right side algorithm, this will replace that. It's a wasted move anyway. So let's do right side algorithm to replace this, so it can come over here and free itself. Up clockwise, right clockwise, up counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise, up clockwise, front clockwise. So now it's out. We'll just find it and place it correctly. And there it is. We need to use the right side algorithm. Up clockwise, right clockwise, up counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise, up clockwise, front clockwise. And there it is. We've solved the first 2 layers. The next target is to make a yellow cross. Remember, first we had a white cross. Now we're going to make a yellow cross. And to make a yellow cross, if you recognize a pattern like this, remember I told you with algorithms, if you recognize a pattern, orient the cube a certain way and then apply an algorithm and watch the desired result. The desired result is a yellow cross. If you see a pattern like this, that's kind of like a V. Put the V on the top, kind of like that. Not this way, not any other way, but like that, so that the V is facing that direction. And perform this algorithm one time, front clockwise, up clockwise, right clockwise, up counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. Okay, so that's been achieved. Same thing right here, we have that. So we're going to put it again the same way. Do this one algorithm, front clockwise, up clockwise, right clockwise, up counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. So that has been achieved, but let me show you a situation that may arise. You may get a situation like this where you have, instead of that V, remember that we had, you may get a situation where there's a straight line instead of a V. If there's a V, you put it over here. If there's no V, you put it horizontally. The 3 aligned yellows, horizontal, either this way, horizontally, or this way. Don't do vertically and don't do. So you hold it horizontally, and in order to get the yellow cross, you hold it horizontally and you do this algorithm one time. It's an alternate of the first one. front clockwise, right clockwise, up clockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. And now you've achieved that. Now, next step is to make everything over here yellow. And to do that, we just use one algorithm over and over and recognizing different patterns and orienting the cube differently, but just one algorithm as many times as it is needed to solve it. And here's the algorithm. First, if you recognize a pattern where there is no corner that is yellow, see all these corners are not yellow, then you must put a yellow corner on your left top closest to you right there. Okay, right there. So here's another one you can do that. Okay, so must do that. Apply this algorithm, and remember this algorithm. I'm gonna do it as many times as it takes to make this yellow. But in this case, there is no yellow corners. I'm gonna orient it a yellow corner over there and do it. Right clockwise, up clockwise, right counterclockwise, up clockwise, right clockwise, up clockwise twice, right counterclockwise. And now we have another situation. We need to apply the algorithm, but how do we orient it? You recognize the pattern that there's one corner that's yellow. Remember before there was no corner? When there's one corner that's yellow, put it on top left like that and do it again. Right clockwise, up clockwise, right counterclockwise, up clockwise. Right clockwise, up clockwise twice, right counterclockwise. And now look, all the top is yellow, everything else is still constant, because we're using algorithm. Same thing over here. Now, so our target, since we have the yellow cross, our target is to make everything over here yellow. And how do we do that? You recognize a pattern and apply one algorithm over and over until you achieve that goal. And so what is the pattern right now? Right now, remember at one point we didn't have any corner that was yellow, and then at one point we have one corner that was yellow and we place it over here. When you have no corners that yellow, you place it a yellow kind of like square over here. When you have two of them, see, this is a yellow and that's a yellow, and I don't care whether it could be two, or if there's two corners that are yellow, I don't care where they are, you hold it with one yellow on your face top left, kind of like that, and you do that algorithm. Right clockwise, up clockwise, right counterclockwise, up clockwise, right clockwise, up clockwise twice, right counterclockwise. Now you have one yellow corner. You put it on top left. Remember we encountered this before. Do the algorithm again. Right clockwise, up clockwise, right counterclockwise, up clockwise, right clockwise, up clockwise twice, right counterclockwise. Again, you have one corner. Place it over here. So remember, you got to do it as many times as you have to get it done. Again, the algorithm: right, up, clockwise, right counterclockwise, up, right, up clockwise, right counterclockwise. And now we have achieved the goal. So everything's good. Now that is done. These two layers are solved and this top is good. We just have to solve this layer. And how do we do it? First step is to orient the corners correctly. Ignore the edge pieces on the yellow top and just fix the corners. And how do we do that? We find something I call a headlight. Headlight is like if this corner and that corner was the same color, and it's not. There's no headlight there. There's no headlight because this is blue and red. There's a headlight here because this is green and green. When you find that headlight, you turn it to the side it belongs to. Remember, the center determines the color. You turn the headlight to the green side because the headlight is green, and notice that these corners are now solved, whatever the headlight is. Put the solved corners at the back. So the headlight is the back facing the back, so it's rear headlights. And to now resolve these two corners, you hold it this way and do this one algorithm one time, and these two corners will be fixed. And this is the algorithm: right counterclockwise, front clockwise, right counterclockwise, back clockwise twice, right clockwise, front counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, back clockwise twice, right clockwise twice, up counterclockwise. So now look, all the corners are in the right place. Same thing over here. Find headlights. This is headlights. We put the headlight. Oh, this one actually all the corners are solved. So sometimes you get lucky like that. So you see, for this one we don't have to do that step. And that's the thing about Rubik's Cube. Every now and then you get lucky. All right. Now, because we didn't get lucky on this one, okay, so let's go to the next step. Now all the corners are oriented correctly. We need to fix the edge pieces. So in one step, when I apply this one algorithm, it's going to solve the Rubik's Cube. Remember I mentioned an algorithm that is clockwise and counterclockwise. This is the counterclockwise and clockwise one. Here's the case. If you find none of the edge pieces are in the correct place, like let's say none of these, then you just hold it anyway and do this either clockwise or counterclockwise. If you find a situation where you see this orange edge piece needs to go over here and this blue needs to go, so this is going, that's counterclockwise, you hold it this way with the solved edge piece at the back, and you determine this is counterclockwise. Apply it one time and you'll solve the Rubik's Cube. Here we go. Counterclockwise, front clockwise twice, top counterclockwise, left clockwise, right counterclockwise, front clockwise twice, left counterclockwise, right clockwise, top counterclockwise, front clockwise twice. And there it is, gentlemen and ladies. That's how to solve the Rubik's Cube. All right, here's a situation where, and I want to, so like if you find it, one edge piece is solved, you put it at the back. What if you don't find any? Then you just hold it anyway and do this. But if it's solved, you put it at the back and look at these. This needs to go over here and this needs to go over here. So this is a clockwise, right? So if you don't find anything, any edge pieces matching, you apply any of the clockwise or counterclockwise algorithms and you'll achieve a situation where you have at least one of them solved, like this one, or all of them solved. So now we have this one, and lucky for us, I'm going to show you how to apply the clockwise algorithm. Once I apply it, this is going to bring over here and we're going to have solved the Rubik's Cube. And here comes the clockwise algorithm. Front clockwise twice, top clockwise, left clockwise, right counterclockwise, front clockwise twice, left counterclockwise, right clockwise, top clockwise, front clockwise twice. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Now, here's my answer to the question of the day. The question was, why do we call this a Rubik's Cube? Way back in 1974, a Hungarian inventor and architect and professor of architecture named Arno Rubik created or invented this cube in 1974. And because of his last name, Rubik, we call this the Rubik's Cube. So it was Arno Rubik from Hungary in 1974, an architect and professor of architecture who discovered it, and that's why we call it the Rubik's Cube. Now, before we go, one bonus question. Are there any puzzles here? And look around here, there's a lot of puzzles. There's this one that looks like that. There's even some that don't have any colors. There's this one, which is a regular 3x3 Rubik's Cube. There's a big one over here. There's a small one over here. There's this funny looking this. There's even these balls and stuff. If you find any one of these pieces that you don't recognize, please let me know in the comments section below this YouTube video. And I'm going to do two things for you. First, I'll respond to your question and tell you exactly what the name of that piece is. And on top of that, as a bonus, I'm going to create a tutorial video for you and put it in this channel so that you can know not only what it is, but how to solve it. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and goodbye.